We're the MMA analysts. Let's talk about why Alex Pereira beats Magomed Ankalaev in a rematch. I'm Calvin.
I'm Julian.
All right, let's get straight into this. UFC 13 obviously happened. We both picked Alex Pereira. 313, my mistake. Happened with Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Alex Pereira took a defeat in this fight. I personally think that if you watch these rounds closely, it's a lot more close than you originally think.
It really is close.
Especially because I see a lot of people trying to give Magomed Ankalaev the third round, and I feel like there's actually more reasoning to give him the fifth, but more judges scored it for the fifth. I think this is definitely a very razor-close fight. I personally had Alex winning just by a smidge, but it's not a robbery by any means.
Right, yeah.
Let's go straight into why. We both kind of believe that Alex Pereira is going to beat him in the possible, not even possible, is going to happen.
The confirmed rematch.
It's
going to
confirmed.
happen. All right, here's why Alex Pereira wins, guys. Just first of all, without any other fancy stuff, any other techniques, Alex needs to punch. He just needs to throw some punches. He just needs to establish some pressure, and I think that everything will change.
That's
really it.
I agree. That's not the whole video, but that is the main point. Alex Pereira needs to apply pressure. This is one of the things that Alex Pereira is best at, and it's one of the things he's showcased he's really good at in the past. It's been his most lethal weapon, and it's also just been his best defense in some regards. Alex Pereira showed extreme improvements in a lot of areas of his game for this last fight, but he needs to put this all together way better than he did. His striking was abysmal in this fight compared to where Alex Pereira usually is. Leg kicks were more on point than they've ever been in the first round. It landed so many and also just got away with it for the whole round. Got out of there. I think part of his game plan was to slow Magomed with the leg kicks like we saw Jan Blachowicz do, but it's just becoming clearly apparent with Rakic and Alex now fighting Ankalaev. Jan Blachowicz' leg kicks are kind of different. They're kind of bony, and the way that the inside leg gets in there, they're just a bit more damaging.
He was going shin on shin, too. It's not even a normal leg kick. Like, he was just testing Ankalaev's conditioning, and Jan Blachowicz is going to win that test every time, you know?
Definitely. I agree. And I just think that his game plan was to weaken Ankalaev with the leg kicks and then pick him apart with the counter, but also stay close to the cage because that's where Alex Pereira's takedown defense is going to be at its best. And it was at its best. This is the hardest I've seen Ankalaev try for a takedown in a long time, and he didn't get one. 0 for 12. That's a huge thing. He changed Ankalaev's takedown accuracy from 33 to 20%.
Yeah,
that's
also,
really impressive.
We just need to mention, like, this is the fight where Ankalaev tried to wrestle most out of his entire career. He's never approached a fight with a more careful, striking on the outside, go for takedowns, pressure against the cage kind of game plan, right? It was this classic MMA, like, grappler, all-arounder style of fight, right? He approached it that way, and it didn't really work that well. Like, Ankalaev was doing better in the striking, and the grappling was negating Pereira, but Pereira was countering things better than anyone expected. And I think that just gives me confidence in the rematch, because what I see from that fight is that Alex was trying to focus on the leg kicks. He was worried about the takedown. He didn't want to overextend on punches. But now that he knows that he's a grappler and that can compete with someone like Ankalaev, now that he knows for sure, not just in theory in the gym, will be a lot more confident, I think, to throw punches, sting Ankalaev on the outside, and even just throw jabs. Like, it's really not that risky to throw a jab, and we weren't even really seeing any jabs from Alex Pereira in this fight. And that's really what kind of shook me up the most, is like, I would totally understand if Alex just didn't throw any right hands, didn't throw any big open shots. I would understand that, but not seeing him throw any punches was really a big surprise. And honestly, that's all he has to do is just throw a few punches. He was stinging them. Every time Alex was pushing forward, Ank was not countering anything. He was not threatening any counters. He was not shooting for takedowns. Every time Alex was punching, they were landing or Ank was going way back. So I think the game plan for Pereira is pretty simple for next time.
I really do think, I agree. I think there's been two big abnormalities in this fight. One, we saw Alex grapple the most, and two, he didn't apply pressure more than he ever has. And I think only one of those is positive. Definitely his grappling showing improvement is a great and positive, but I just think that this fight and just the way he approached it with the defense, staying against the cage, trying to avoid the takedown, and just not really going for the kill like Alex Pereira usually does, really cost him like a guaranteed win in this fight, and clearly the win. And I just think that with this fight footage, 5 rounds of good footage with Ankalaev, himself fighting it, defending the takedowns, we know the takedown defense is there. We know it's good. We know it's competent. We know that Alex Pereira can bring that into the rematch, and Alex knows this as well. And this is the thing we have to really remember. This is the most defensive Alex has ever fought in his entire career. Most
ever.
In the back
Even
foot.
kickboxing.
Even kickboxing, ever. And this is a completely unique fight for Alex. This is Ankalaev's only experience with Alex Pereira in the cage. Now, if Alex Pereira goes back to the way he was fighting in other fights and really applying pressure, now that he knows he can defend the takedowns, not being too worried about them and starting to put together combinations, it's a completely different fight for Ankalaev.
Yep.
Alex Pereira on the offensive, he didn't get any of that in this fight, not any of it. Not any of it.
Right,
Alex Pereira
right.
would circle out from any danger.
Yeah.
When he goes back into the fire and he makes the combinations last and he actually swings in the pocket and doesn't just switch stances as he's backing up like Israel does, I really think he's going to hurt Ankalaev bad. The couple times he was putting together a couple shots, they landed. That right and left against the cage was smooth, and he clearly was able to find Ankalaev's timing just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key difference maker in the rematch, even aside from all of that, is just that Alex Pereira did not give Ankalaev data that he will use to win, and Ankalaev did give Pereira the data that he will use to win for next time, right?
Yeah.
Everything. And also, especially in his kickboxing career and the second Izzy fight in the UFC before he got knocked out, Alex Pereira historically does very well in rematches. He always does better and better in rematches. He always finds reads on people. You'll notice in Yuri 2, he kept the timing, he kept the spacing of Yuri's reach. Pereira is the kind of striker that can actually remember that kind of stuff, so I mean, yeah, sure, maybe it sounds like glazing, but it's true if you watch it. I really think that he will come to this Ankalaev fight more confident about the reach, more confident about what Ank's left hand can do, right?
We know it can hurt him.
And he does too, right? And he did slip it once. We thought we'd see that more, and I think that, if anything, we're going to see it more in this fight because, again, it's all on Alex Pereira here. Ankalaev is not going to be able to change up his game plan very much, you guys. That's who he is as a fighter, right? Alex is either going to do one of two things. He's going to fight the same and probably lose again, or he's going to just push a little more, not back up against the fence as much, and he's going to win a decision or knock out Ankalaev, right? I think that's pretty much the only read you can really have in this fight because I don't see Ankalaev doing anything drastically different.
I don't think he will because I think Ankalaev's game plan was the perfect one to beat Alex. I just don't think that is the version of Alex that usually shows up. I just think that Ankalaev beat an Alex who he can walk down, and Alex Pereira gave him the tools to walk him down. I just think that if he establishes his game, this is completely different from Ankalaev. He didn't not establish his game because he wasn't trying. He did not. We've seen Alex Pereira pressure before. We saw it in the Khalil fight when he eventually took over. We saw it in the Yuri fight whenever he would counter. He doesn't always go back up. He does back up a little bit. We saw it in the Strickland fight, but he presses forward when he needs to with these, complex combinations or these jabs
out of nowhere
to keep them at bay out of nowhere. He didn't do any of it, and he also did something weird in this fight where he pressed, but he didn't actually throw. And Alex Pereira never does that. I've never seen Alex Pereira pressure before without throwing, and he was doing it multiple times.
Yeah.
I also have never seen Alex Pereira switch stances so close to any opponent like Izzy was. That's how Izzy got KO'd. That's how Izzy got KO'd recently. And that's almost how Alex Pereira got fucking KO'd.
Don't do that, guys. Don't switch stances in the pocket. It's not a good idea.
No, and also clearly don't do it against a faster, shorter opponent. That's crazy shit.
Against the fence.
Against the fence.
Like Izzy did.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Alex Pereira paid for it. He had a big left hand, and he got hurt.
Yes, he did.
But he did recover well. I don't feel people talking about that enough. When he was walking to the cage, he looked really well, and he looked like he took the shot pretty well, but that hurt him. And I just think that he was really concerned about the grappling in this fight. I think him backing up to the cage repeatedly was because he's trained against the cage the most.
Right.
I really see Alex Pereira coming back with the pressure in this fight. I see him watching this fight, seeing the adjustments. I mean, unless your coach is Tito Ortiz, I don't know how you can't see how Alex is going to win this fight with just a bit of adjustments with the pressure. He threw no punches in this fight, and he almost won it. What the hell is going to happen if he just does 10, 20% more Alex Pereira than he was in this fight? It's done.
Absolutely.
I think 10 more jabs spread out through this fight, and it's Alex Pereira's fight.
That's all it would take. Do you see what that one jab did?
Yeah, God forbid some big hook. This is a really close fight, and this is the worst we've ever seen Alex Pereira, and this is the best we've ever seen Magomed Ankalaev. And I think that in this next fight, we're going to see the best Pereira, and we're going to see the best Ankalaev, and I just think that the best Pereira is going to beat the best Ankalaev.
Absolutely, and I really hope that his fame isn't getting to his head like some haters are saying. I don't believe that to be true. I really think that this is just a case of Pereira focusing more on grappling in his camp, less on striking, and then being hesitant in striking as a result of that because Ankalaev was good. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed our analysis of the upcoming rematch. Let us know if you agree. Let us know if you disagree. If you guys think we're glazing Alex, we totally get it. There's a lot of evidence to support that. But trust us, we legitimately believe in Alex to win this rematch as we believed in him to win the first fight. I really think we got a good read on this. I'm very confident about this prediction, actually even more so after seeing the first fight. So
yeah.
Again, let us know what you guys think. Leave a like if you liked it. Dislike it if you think we're glazers. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Tally ho.
Tally ho.